Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something straight from the heart. How much of your life are you truly living, and how much are you just existing? Because if we're honest, most people are not living, they're drifting. They wake up, hit the snooze button 5 times, drag themselves out of bed, scroll through their phone like it holds the secret to happiness, then run through the same loop they ran through yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. And you know what they call that. They call that normal. But I call it what it really is, a slow death in disguise. Listen to me carefully. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always gotten. And if what you've always gotten is mediocrity, stress, regret, and an endless waiting for someday, then today is the day you declare, ooch. Today is the day you stop wasting your life. And to do that, I'm going to give you a challenge, not a wish, not a hope, but a challenge, the 90-day life reset. If you will lock in, if you will commit like your life depends on it, because it does, these next 90 days will become the most transformational season of your life. Let's break it down. Step 1, decide who you want to become. The first 30 days are about clarity. Most people never get what they want because they don't know what they want. They're like ships without a destination, floating wherever the current takes them. But ships aren't made to drift. They're made to sail. So I want you to grab a notebook and write down not who you are, but who you want to become. I'm not talking about a job title. I'm talking about your identity, your character, your standards, your energy. Ask yourself, what does the best version of me look like? How does that version walk into a room? How does that version speak, think, move, love, lead? Picture it vividly. Smell the air around it. Feel the power of it in your bones. Then every single morning for the next 30 days, read it out loud. Let it burn into your mind until it becomes part of your DNA. Because if you don't define yourself, the world will do it for you, and the world will always underestimate you. Step 2, build ruthless daily discipline. The next 30 days are about momentum. Once you know who you want to be, you must train like your life depends on it. Because it does. The future is not built by wishing. The future is built by discipline. Here's what I mean. Pick 3 daily non-negotiables that would change everything if you stayed consistent. Maybe it's waking up 1 hour earlier to study, build your side business, or pray, working out daily to rebuild your health and confidence, reading 10 pages of a powerful book to expand your mind, writing your goals every morning and visualizing them every night. Whatever they are, they must be clear, measurable, and done every single day for 30 days. No excuses. No, I was tired. No, I didn't feel like it. Because winners don't wait to feel motivated. They move first, and motivation catches up later. Listen, you're not always going to feel like it, but champions aren't built on feelings. They're built on decisions. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. And after 30 days of casting those votes, you won't just be doing the habits. You'll start becoming the person. Step 3, eliminate what drains you. The final 30 days are about subtraction. Because here's the truth. You don't need more time. You don't need more talent. You just need to stop giving your energy to things that don't matter. For 30 days, cut out toxic people who drain your spirit, mindless scrolling that steals your focus, gossip, complaining, and excuses that poison your mind, commitments that serve everyone but suffocate your soul. Ask yourself every morning, will this matter in 5 years? If the answer is no, stop giving it your life. Clear the clutter. Create space. Because the seeds of your future can't grow in soil filled with weeds. The breakthrough, if you do this, 30 days of clarity, 30 days of discipline, 30 days of elimination. Then in 90 days, something powerful will happen. You'll wake up with fire in your eyes again. You'll carry yourself with pride and purpose. People will notice. They'll ask, what changed about you? And you'll smile because you'll know the answer. You didn't wait for the perfect time. You didn't beg for someone to rescue you. You took your life back. You will realize something most people never discover. You were never lacking potential. You were just lacking focus. And when a human being becomes focused, they become unstoppable. Final word, my friend, life is not a rehearsal. You don't get to come back and do this again. Every day you spend drifting is a day you'll never see again. So I'm not asking you. I'm challenging you. 90 days. 90 days of relentless commitment. 90 days to see what you're truly made of. Don't wait until you feel ready. You'll never feel ready. Start now. Start messy. Start scared. Because the world doesn't need another person who almost lived their dream. It needs you fully alive, fully awake, fully unleashed. Stop wasting your life. Do this for the next 90 days. And when the world sees who you've become, they'll never doubt you again. Decide who you want to become. This is the foundation of everything. Because until you know who you want to be, you will keep drifting into who the world decides you should be. Most people spend their lives chasing things they don't even want because they never stopped to ask themselves who they truly are at their core and who they desire to become. They let society define them. They let their past failures define them. They let the voices of fear and doubt shape their identity. And because of that, they live lives that never touch their real potential. But everything changes the moment you decide. Not hope, not wish, not try. Decide. When you make a decision about your future self, you give your mind a target. And where the mind has a target, it creates pathways to reach it. If you want to transform your life, you have to start with a crystal clear vision of the person you want to become. Close your eyes and picture that version of you. See them standing tall, shoulders back, eyes burning with purpose. Imagine how they think when challenges hit. Do they collapse or do they rise? Imagine how they speak when they walk into a room. Do they shrink or do they command presence? Imagine how they treat people, how they handle pressure, how they push through fear. Every detail matters because clarity gives birth to power. If you can see it vividly, you can move toward it relentlessly. Write it down in raw detail. Write the qualities, the habits, the mindset, the energy, the discipline, the values. Write how they wake up, what they do first thing in the morning, how they use their time, what they tolerate, and what they no longer accept. Write about the way they love themselves and others, how they stay focused, how they carry themselves even on the hardest days. Because if you don't define this version of you, life will hand you a blurred, watered down version, and you'll spend years wondering why you feel so empty inside. This decision to become your highest self must be fierce, unshakable, and rooted in conviction. You cannot treat it like an experiment. You have to burn the bridges to your old identity. Every time the old voice of doubt rises and says, that's not who you are, you answer, that's exactly who I am becoming. You train your thoughts to align with this new identity until your mind believes it. Because the moment your mind believes it, your behavior will follow. You are not changing for applause or approval. You are changing because you are no longer willing to live below your calling. You are changing because you have seen the price of staying small, and it's too high. This is the shift that creates champions, leaders, and world changers. They decide first, and then they grow into that decision with daily actions. Most people wait to feel ready. They wait until they are confident, until they have proof. But deciding who you want to become is about declaring it before you see it, claiming it before it looks real. stepping into the identity while it still feels uncomfortable. Your current reality is just a reflection of who you've been, not who you are destined to be. The moment you decide who you want to become, your life begins to bend toward it. Build ruthless daily discipline. Once you've chosen who you want to become, desire alone is not enough. You must train yourself to act on that decision every single day. Whether you feel like it or not, discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you are meant to be. It is the muscle that turns dreams into reality, and like any muscle, it only grows through consistent use. Most people wait for motivation to strike before they move, but motivation is unreliable. It rises and falls like the wind. Discipline, however, is steady. It shows up when you're tired, when you're uninspired, when no one is clapping for you. It shows up when quitting would be easier. And if you can build it, it will carry you through every obstacle that tries to stand in your way. Discipline starts with structure. You cannot build a powerful life on a foundation of chaos. You must create a daily routine that supports the person you are becoming, not the person you used to be. That means setting clear priorities and eliminating distractions before they consume your time. It means deciding the night before how the next day will unfold, so you are not waking up each morning hoping things will magically fall into place. It means building rituals that lock you into momentum, waking up early, moving your body, feeding your mind with something that strengthens you, and attacking the most important tasks before the world has a chance to pull you off course. Discipline is not about doing 100 things once in a while. It is about doing a few crucial things every single day until they are part of your identity. Every time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, you strengthen your belief that you are someone who keeps promises. That belief becomes fuel. It becomes confidence. It becomes power. But every time you break a commitment to yourself, you weaken that belief. And over time, it erodes your self-respect. This is why discipline matters so deeply. It is not just about habits, it is about identity. When you are disciplined, you prove to yourself that you are in control, that you are not at the mercy of your moods or your environment. You are not just reacting to life, you are shaping it. That sense of control ignites a quiet fire inside you, the kind that can carry you through storms that would break other people. You have to approach discipline like a warrior. Expect resistance. Expect your mind to negotiate, to bargain, to whisper, skip it today. That voice will never go away. But your job is not to make it disappear. Your job is to move anyway. The difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck is not that one group feels fearless and the other doesn't. It is that the ones who rise have trained themselves to act despite fear, despite doubt, despite fatigue. They understand that consistency beats intensity, that doing something small every day is more powerful than doing something huge once in a while. So they protect their routines. They guard their time like it's gold. They remove temptations that pull them off track. They surround themselves with people who hold them accountable and remind them of their mission. They track their progress. They celebrate small wins. And they use setbacks as fuel instead of excuses. They don't rely on willpower alone. They build systems that make discipline automatic. So even when their emotions crash, their actions stay steady. And every day they show up, they stack another brick on the foundation of their future until one day that foundation becomes unshakable. Eliminate everything that drains you. You cannot build a powerful life while carrying the weight of things that weaken your spirit, scatter your focus, and bleed away your energy. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or opportunity. They fail because they are leaking power every single day into people, habits, and environments that do not serve their future. They allow toxic relationships to anchor them. to the past. They drown in distractions that steal their focus, and they say yes to commitments that pull them further from their purpose. If you want to rise, you must clear the clutter from your life with the same intensity that you chase your dreams, because space is not something you find. It is something you create. Start by taking inventory of everything that touches your mind and your energy each day. Look at the people you spend time with, the conversations you engage in, the content you consume, the environments you place yourself in. Ask yourself one simple question about each of them. Does this fuel me or does it drain me? If it fuels you, double it. If it drains you, cut it. This might mean distancing yourself from people who constantly complain, criticize, or discourage your growth. It might mean saying no to social obligations that leave you feeling empty and unaligned. It might mean deleting apps that trap you in endless scrolling and numb your ambition. It might mean stepping away from environments filled with negativity, gossip, or chaos. Because no matter how strong you think you are, your environment will shape you. You are not just fighting for your time, you are fighting for your mental real estate, and you cannot afford to rent that space to things that weaken you. Every unnecessary distraction you remove creates room for deep focus. And deep focus is where transformation happens. When you are scattered, you can be busy all day and accomplish nothing. When you are focused, you can accomplish more in an hour than most people do in a week. But focus requires energy, and energy requires boundaries. You have to guard your attention like it is sacred. Stop giving it away to every notification, every drama, every shiny thing that pulls you away from your mission. Train yourself to leave your phone in another room when you work, to block off hours of uninterrupted time, to treat your goals like unbreakable appointments. The more distractions you eliminate, the more powerful you become, because power is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters with full intensity. This also means clearing the internal clutter that drains you. Eliminate the habits of mind that sabotage you from the inside. Overthinking, self-doubt, comparison, guilt, resentment. These are silent thieves. They sit in your mind like background noise, draining your energy without you realizing it. Catch them, interrupt them, replace them with thoughts that strengthen you, with words that build you. Stop rehearsing your past mistakes in your mind like they define you. Stop carrying grudges like they protect you. Stop dragging yesterday's weight into today's work. Lightness is not weakness, it is power. The lighter you are, the faster you move. The more you release, the more room you create for the future to enter. Eliminating what drains you is not about loss. It is about liberation. It is about cutting the chains that keep you circling the same ground so you can finally run toward what you were born to build. Guard your time like your life depends on it. Time is the most valuable currency you will ever have, and yet it is the currency people spend most carelessly. You can recover money after you lose it. You can rebuild relationships after they break. You can restore health after a setback, but you will never get back a single hour that slips through your fingers. Every day, life hands you 24 golden hours, and most people trade them for distractions, for things that don't matter, for the approval of people who aren't even thinking about them. If you want to create a future that excites you, you have to treat your time as sacred, as something too expensive to waste on meaningless noise. You have to become ruthless about how you spend it and who you spend it with. Guarding your time begins with awareness. Track where your hours are actually going, not where you think they're going. You may believe you're too busy to chase your dreams, but when you look closer, you'll see hours lost to mindless scrolling, gossip, television, procrastination, and distractions that serve no purpose. Those small leaks add up until entire days are gone, And those days become weeks, months, years of missed opportunities. Once you see where your time is escaping, you can start taking it back. Block out time for the things that matter most and treat those blocks as non-negotiable appointments. Schedule time for deep work, for your health, for your growth, and refuse to let other people's emergencies or opinions fill those spaces. When you say yes to everything, you are secretly saying no to the things that could change your life. Learning to say no is one of the most powerful skills you can master, because every no is really a yes to yourself and your mission. Guarding your time also means surrounding yourself with people who respect it. There are people who will drain your schedule with drama, with endless requests, with conversations that go nowhere. They will keep you spinning in circles because they are spinning in circles. You cannot afford to live in someone else's chaos. Limit your exposure to people who waste your time and increase your proximity to people who challenge you to use your time wisely. Spend time with those who are going where you want to go, because their pace will raise yours. The company you keep will determine whether you rise or whether you stay stuck. And your time is too precious to gamble on the wrong influences. Protecting your time also requires you to be intentional with focus. Multitasking scatters your power and doubles the time it takes to finish anything. Commit to doing one thing at a time and doing it with full presence. Turn off notifications, silence the noise, and give yourself permission to dive deep. When you learn to concentrate without interruption, you will find you can accomplish more in 2 focused hours than in an entire distracted day. This is how you create time where it once felt like there was none. By using the hours you have with precision and intensity. Every minute you reclaim, every distraction you eliminate, every boundary you enforce is an investment in the future you say you want. Your schedule is not just a list of tasks. It is a reflection of your values, a mirror that shows you what you truly care about. Act now, not when you feel ready. Waiting for the perfect moment is the silent killer of dreams, because the perfect moment will never come. There will always be doubts, distractions, and reasons to delay. If you wait until you feel confident, you will wait forever, because confidence is not the starting point. It is the reward you earn by moving through fear. Most people convince themselves they need more time, more preparation, more clarity, but what they really need is to start. Action creates clarity, and motion builds momentum. The longer you hesitate, the heavier your goals become until they feel impossible to lift. The people who rise are not the ones who knew exactly what they were doing. They are the ones who had the courage to begin while they were unsure, unprepared, and afraid. Taking action trains your mind to trust you. Every step you take sends a message to your subconscious that you are serious, that your dreams are not just fantasies, that you will not keep betraying your own potential. The first steps might be messy, awkward, imperfect, but perfection is irrelevant when you are building something new. What matters is consistency, because each small step compounds into strength. When you act in the face of uncertainty, you build resilience. When you act in the face of fear, you build courage. When you act before you feel ready, you teach yourself that readiness is not a requirement. It is a myth. The people you admire, the ones who built extraordinary lives, did not wait for the right conditions. They acted, and because they acted, the conditions began to shift in their favor. Start before you have it all figured out. Start before you know all the answers. Start before you feel qualified. You will learn more in motion than you ever could in planning. You will grow into the person who can handle what lies ahead by stepping into it, not by standing still. Hesitation drains energy, but action fuels it. Even the smallest action can spark a chain reaction of progress, because movement creates momentum, and momentum creates belief. Your brain begins to see evidence that change is possible, and that evidence becomes power. Fear thrives in stillness, but it shrinks in the presence of movement. The longer you sit with fear, the larger it grows. The moment you move, it begins to crumble. Every second you delay is a second you could have used to build, to grow, to transform. The clock is running whether you act or not, and the gap between where you are and where you want to be only closes through action. Waiting will not make the leap easier, but starting will make you stronger. Start scared, start uncertain, start messy, but start. Because the act of moving forward will awaken parts of you that planning never could. Each action sharpens your focus, each risk strengthens your resolve, and each step forward pulls the future closer into your hands. Act now, not when you feel ready. Readiness is an illusion that keeps countless people stuck in the same place year after year, waiting for the stars to align before they move. They tell themselves they will begin when they feel confident, when they have more resources, when the fear goes away. But that day never comes, because confidence is not the starting line. It is the result of motion. The truth is, you will never feel fully ready to step into something bigger than yourself, because growth always lies outside your comfort zone. You cannot think your way into courage. You build it by acting while afraid. The gap between where you are and where you want to be will not shrink with more hesitation. It only shrinks when you take the first step, even if it's shaky, even if it's messy, even if it scares you. Action is what rewires your mind. The moment you move, you prove to yourself that fear does not control you. Fear feeds on stillness, but it weakens in the presence of movement. The first steps might feel clumsy. They might be full of mistakes, but mistakes are evidence that you are in the arena instead of watching from the sidelines. Most people let the fear of imperfection paralyze them, but perfection is not the goal. Progress is. You do not need to be brilliant on day one. You just need to be brave enough to begin. Every small action compounds. Each time you show up, you gain skill, you gain clarity, and you gain momentum. And momentum is what carries you through doubt. When you act, you create evidence for your mind that change is possible, and that evidence becomes belief. Belief fuels effort, effort fuels results, and results fuel confidence. That is the cycle that transforms lives, and it starts with one decisive move. You cannot wait for motivation to carry you, because motivation is fleeting. It comes in bursts and fades when life gets hard. What creates lasting change is discipline built through action. When you move despite not feeling ready, you strengthen the muscle of discipline. You teach your mind that your word matters more than your emotions, that you can be trusted to follow through. That self-trust becomes a quiet power that will push you through resistance long after the initial excitement fades. While others wait to feel like it, you will be stacking small victories until they become unstoppable momentum. The ones who win are not the ones who felt most ready. They are the ones who acted when it was uncomfortable, who stumbled forward until they found their stride. Every second you delay costs more than you see. Delay kills dreams silently, one hesitation at a time, while convincing you that you are being wise and patient. But there is no such thing as the perfect time. The right time is always now, because time will pass anyway. A year from now, you will either be grateful you started or regret that you didn't. Every day you wait is a day you could have been growing stronger, wiser, and closer to your vision. Action is what separates those who talk about change from those who create it. It is the spark that sets your future in motion. The path will not appear until you take the first steps, and with each step, the next one becomes clearer. The courage you are waiting for will not come before you start. It will rise within you because you started.